What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, former President Donald Trump had another resounding victory in this still young presidential primary season. All right, in Nikki Haley's own home state, he trounced her in the vote by a 61% to 39% margin. I thought that he was going to win. I was going to do a prediction video the other day. I didn't get around to it. I know people are going to be thinking I'm lying again, but I thought he was going to win by a 60 to 37% margin. So I was pretty damn close. Look, this is his fourth consecutive victory, if I'm not mistaken. He won the Iowa caucus, which you recall in 2016 he lost to Ted Cruz. He won at New Hampshire, and that was despite that being an open primary where independents and Democrats could vote, if I'm not mistaken. He won in Nevada in that process, even though he wasn't technically on the ballot in the first vote or whatever the process was, but generally he won. And he trounces her in her home state of South Carolina. So you can make an argument it's downhill from here. Okay? I looked at MSNBC because I know they're very biased against Trump. And I'm not saying that I'm for Trump, but I just noticed MSNBC is very, very biased against Trump. So this is what kills me. You can make a strong argument that since Nikki Haley lost her own home state by 22 points, she really has no real reason to still be in this race. MSNBC was making a case that, well, there needs to be a voice of opposition throughout the rest of this primary season. That in itself was enough to support or continue Nikki Haley's campaign. Like, basically, it don't matter that Trump is going to win more than likely all the rest of these primaries. Nikki Haley should just be the voice of opposition. Really, it's interesting because when John McCain fell hopelessly behind the delegates in 2000 versus George W. Bush, even though he actually did win some primaries, I remember him winning in New Hampshire by 18 points. I remember him winning in Michigan. I think he won in New York. I remember him winning in states where there were open primaries. But ultimately, George W. Bush moved far ahead of him. And eventually, John McCain dropped out because it was hopeless. Why run a hopeless campaign? So basically, you just want Nikki Haley to stay in just to be a spiteful campaign. I know this. If Nikki Haley stays in this race, just out of spite, and she's going to have to increasingly become more and more anti-Trump, she can kiss her political career goodbye. Because their voters are not going to forget that. Just like how the voters in Wyoming, let Lynn Cheney pay for what they saw was her disrespect Trump, because more than any other Republican I've ever seen, even more than Reagan, Trump has become the face of the Republican Party. In many ways, how another politician some 90 years ago became the face of another party in Germany. He wasn't just the leader of a certain party. He became the face, the physical embodiment of a certain party that has 4 letters in its name. I'm not going to say it on this video. But at this point, Nikki Haley shouldn't even be running anymore. I think I saw a graphic that said that Nikki Haley had 17 delegates to Trump's like 100 and something at this point. Like, there's no reason for her to run. And then, as this thing starts getting more into Trump country, Midwest, plain states, the southeast, she's gonna do worse and worse and worse. So I don't get at this point why she's still in the race. Because if this was any other situation, the mainstream left wing media will be saying that she should have to drop out because they hate Trump so much. They're saying they're making a false argument that she should just stay in. It's just bullshit at this point, man. It just, like I said, I'm not even a Trump supporter, man, but it's just so obvious that they hate the man, man. It's just so fucking obvious. But anyway, if that's the case, why was everybody so quick for Tim Scott to drop out? Maybe he should have just stayed in, right? If it's just principle. And I haven't even looked at Nikki Haley's financial situation as far as her campaign, but I wouldn't be surprised if, you have left-wing contributors, because over the last 3 weeks, I haven't looked into it, but over the last 3 weeks, a lot of her rhetoric has turned to anti-Trump. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's starting to get a lot of left-wing donors, just because they want her campaign to keep going on, because they just want her to be an annoyance to Trump. Matter of fact, let me Google that and see if that's the case. Yep. I see right here, billionaire LinkedIn co-founder and Democratic donor Reid Hoffman gave $250,000 to support former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Now, she does have some conservative donors. Paul Singer, Stanley Druckmeyer, the late Sheldon Anderson, who just recently passed away. He donated to her campaign. But you do have some liberals. Increasingly donating to her campaign. Yep, so anyway, that's all I got to say about that one. So, that's all I got to say about that one. Tell me what you guys think.